Hello everyone, this is Dandy Dragon here to bring you a AoE4 tournament. We got a fun one here with a fairly experienced lobby. We got Emperor Jarin, Allied Trex as Team 1 with the Dragon and Delhi. We have Nani and Nomad as Joan and Ottomans. Throwback and McSkinfry as English and Joan. And Zerinium and Galactic as Abbasid and Ottomans. All of them are playing civs they're pretty experienced with. Allied, I know, is a low conk upper diamond player who mains Delhi. Then we have Nomad, who plays a bit of everything, and but he is good on Ottomans. I know that for a fact. And him and Jarin, Nomad and Jarin, are both streamers. Jarin on YouTube and Nomad on Twitch. Feel free to check them both out. We have Galactic here, who is a conk level player as well. He's very experienced. And having played with him and Zerinium myself many times, I know they are a good pair, very experienced. Throwmac and McSkinfry, they have started getting in a lot more games as of recently themselves. And for those who do not know, we're all a part of the Tournie community. Check him out. And we are in the Raiders tags. So we all play FFAs fairly frequently. Now let's go ahead and look at these spawns for each team. So we have the zoo or the zookeepers, which is Allied Trex and Emperor Jarin here on the west corner. And they have access to some good fishing right here. If they can secure that, that'll really help that Udit economy really boost up. And they have a lot of forward stone and gold here. That's nice. They got that. And in between him and his allies, a couple of large stone nodes, all of which is good. We have his partner over here has already gone to berries. For those who do not know, a few civs, including Delhi, Abbasid, and I think Ayubid, all get an additional 100 food per berry patch when they build a mill next to it. So keep that in mind for you Delhi players, or people who are interested in being Delhi, or Abbasid. Here in the north, we have Galactic and Zerinium. Now this is both good and bad. You have this natural barrier for your corner, where if you wanted to put up a wonder right here, you have this to defend it with. So you don't even need walls here, just like one keeper cannon towers or a couple military ships to hold the corner. And then you have the one choke, so very efficient in defense. You got gold, stone, a bunch of resources there out in front of it, so if you can get on those can pay for good military. The problem, though, is if you start getting attacked, your ally is not able to defend you as easily because they have to go around. So unless they can get on water quickly and really set up for it, this is going to pose some detriment to any early defense. And there's not a lot of deep-sea fish. Only 4 there, 3 there, and nothing here in the middle. Almost not worth it. Yep. Galactic, as an experienced player, is going to change his dock location from here to over here, so he's closer to the deep-sea fish. Very good. Now, here in the east corner, we do see Nani and Nomad, and we got them going on early wood here. So, yep, going for early docks. They got some good deep-sea fish over here. I think 2 docks is maybe a bit much, but if you're really trying to boost your food economy really quickly, that is an option. And while Nani is over here doing a pretty, looks like a pretty standard opening. Is he getting any docks or anything set up? Nope. He is just going to be going for his age up then, which is pretty normal for Joan. And, yep, just going to get Joan on it by herself. You do this so she gets experience and can get to her second form faster. Now, I would like to see him going for an eco option, unless their plan is to go hard into aggression. Now, let's check out the south. We got Throwmac here, who is going pretty standard English, getting on your wood, getting outposts, probably going to build some early farms with that amount of wood, and just kind of secure his resources. And honestly, as far as he is from Nani there, that's probably not going to be too much aggression, at least not in the feudal. Not going to be worth getting knights this far south, because by the time you get there, you're going to see defense already mustering. And for this own player, McSkinfry, He is he going for early docks? Yep, he went for early docks, so he's got more bills on wood. He's got some sheep coming in. Hopefully that'll keep him. Oh, perfect timing. Obviously not quite perfect, but you know what? It'll pass mustard. Pass mustard. Now, I hope we see docks over here. He's going to realize, though, that was not worth it. Without any deep-sea fishing, this water is going to quickly run out and kind of lose the efficiency. So I wouldn't get more than like 3 or 4 fishing ships on it. And he honestly needs to get up on this one. This is some good deep-sea fish. You got like 7 on that, 8. So that'll be pretty efficient. Now, at the beginning of every FFA game, you are kind of going to be making one of 2 decisions. Am I going aggro or am I going to go eco? Now, you're going to see that their choice is going to be dependent on what setup they go for, obviously. And so far, I'm not seeing any military infrastructure from any of them. And a lot of them are on fishing, which means they're going heavy eco. Now, this, while not horrible, I don't like this myself. I only like to put 2 to 3 fishing boats on each deep sea fish location, so that way it never actually runs out of the food source. So if you had these spread out, you'd never have to keep an eye on them. But it is a good way to really boost your economy early because you're minimizing your travel time and just getting them the closest one. But you'll see that that advantage goes away as soon as it's over, or that resource runs out. Now, Nani is one of the first feudales, along with Jarin. Jarin is going to be, or Jarin, is going to be really going mine work here. It's a pretty standard opening for Order of the Dragon, as Aachen only gives a 10% buff right now to gather rates. You are almost better off eco-wise to just get the better units with the Golden Cuirass and the Zornhau, because that'll really increase your DPS and your survivability, meaning you're spending less on military. Now, this right here, this is rough. Getting walled into your base and away from these resources almost guarantees you have to be aggressive. So this is going to make a play. Now, if Nomad is ready to back this up, this will be a really strong play. If he's not, this could bite him in the ass, because this is a lot of wood that's being spent for this, and a villager that's getting tied up to do it. Meanwhile, yep, we're seeing a double TC from Joan. Joan does well on double TC because of her special ability called Consecrate. Consecrate will decrease the cost of your villagers or anything with food. And then when you get a upgrade later, it'll discount food, wood, and gold. Meaning you get really efficient military, siege, TCs, all of that will do well. Allied getting his scout harried by Nomad. Doesn't seem very necessary. And yep, I think he's realized this is only shoreline fish. He'll stop his production there. Now, this needs to get forward in my... Okay, he has gotten a dock up here, so that will be good for his economy as well. And honestly, though, if you just build a lumber camp and just cut around the edge of this lumber, or this wood wall, it's not going to mean much. This is kind of the issue about building into the forest areas or the wood lines, is that they can just cut around them, and they're not as defensive as most people would like. Now, he's going Sultani Trade Network, trying to get some early gold. Makes sense with the fishing economy that he has. He doesn't need the other landmark, which provides free berry bushes. So just getting the free gold is going to mean a whole lot more. Yep, and he's going to go from the Mehmed Imperial Armory. The Imperial Armory, let's just go with that. Due to the fact that this will give you free siege. Free siege is amazing. Like, if you're saving 650 resources, just getting out free mangonels every time, that's a lot of free resources that is being really efficiently used. Now, since we have another Ottomans over here, he is already on that, and see what I mean. We got the mangonel coming out. We're getting the free spears. I would almost prefer to see CPE due to their ability to raid. But, you know, that's personal preference. He can go for whatever he wants. All right. Jarin is on double TC. Booted. So for those who don't know, booted villagers gather far better than the normal villager, between like 40 to 50% better, if not twice as good, depending on the situation. So getting villagers on the going double TC means you're getting twice as many good vills. So even if you don't have trade, where a lot of people go for the lake game economies or getting on fishing or anything like that, your villagers are just as good, if not better, than most trade and fishing. So it's a very efficient system to go for. Now he's patrolling this water. He wants to make sure he controls it, which is fair. You know, get a Hulk, get a Dow. It's only a little bit of resources, and if it denies someone else getting up on you, it's going to have a lot of value. Now, this is very greedy to me. Going this hard into eco while pushing up on your opponent's base, if they decide to retaliate against you, you're not going to have the military infrastructure to really combat it. Now, this is nice. Going triple TC. He's putting, you see this symbol here, this gold emblem? That is the concentrate, so that's where you know you have your discount. So you'll see the villagers are only 37 food instead of the standard 50. Now, let's see here. Now, we got early relics being grabbed. This is very nice. You get your 2 free imams from your vizier point, which allows you to put them out there and grab the relics before anyone else, except for maybe a few civs like HRE, which Jarin seems to be not going for the fast castle option. He is going for castle now, but not before 2 others or 3 others have already got it. So he's gonna probably not get as many as he likes. But you know what? If he even gets like 3, that'll be enough. And there's still plenty out on the map, so we'll see. Now, Ally taking a interesting step here. The House of Learning is a very popular landmark, but only in very unique scenarios. I personally think it is one of the best landmarks in the game due to its upgrades you can get. So you have the skill from left to right. You have reinforced foundations, which allows your vills to garrison in houses, which means you can, whenever you're out on the map, you don't have to build towers, but you can build houses, which is very nice. Or they gain garrison arrows, which, same thing. There, you can garrison and you get defensive, so it's a lot more wood efficient than building towers. You have Tranquil Venue. Your moss restore 4 health every second to units that are outside of combat that are nearby, which is very nice. You have lookout towers, increase the sight range of outposts and weapon range by 1, which makes your towers a little bit more efficient. Now, you don't see this get a lot of use, but it does have applications here and there. Now, this is a big one. Honed Blades. Men-at-Arms and Lancers equip a Kalige or Kalige, increasing their damage by 3. And that's big. With the Tower of Victory, that gives a 20% attack speed. You're getting plus 3 damage at 20% attack speed. That's going to make your men-at-arms really powerful. And then lastly, you have the Hardy Rations, which increases your carrying capacity by 10. For those who don't know, carry capacity is a lot better than gather rate, due to the fact that in the late game when you're on farms and wood lines, carrying more per trip means you're wasting less time per trip. So you're spending less time walking, which is the majority of this time. So if you just kind of watch, like other vills are getting 3 or 4 swings by the time they've just walked one way. So the carry weight is really big. Now, Palace of Assault. I personally like the, I believe it's called the Hussar Academy, because it gives you free food per technology you have. And in my personal opinion, the amount of free food you get outweighs the Tower Sultan elephants due to the amount of resources. But the elephants are gold inclusive. So if you're low on gold, this technically ends up being better, especially if you can put some scholars in there, increase the production rate. That makes it a lot more efficient. And if you get like 30 of these bad boys backed by some scholars to heal them, there's very few armies that can stand up against them. So, you know, obviously play your preference when it comes to that. Now we're seeing some military production here. Yep, they've been switched to men-at-arms. That is a sure sign that they're going to go military. And already with the Istanbul Observatory, now this is nice. So this does the same thing as a blacksmith for the Ottomans that increases their production rates. And I believe it has a wider radius. Let me see. Yep, here. Provided by 100%. Military production increase 2030. Yep. So, yep, very nice. So really good for your military. Now, obviously, you're going to be missing out on trade bonuses from your other one. But you know what? If that's if your business is murder and not trade, then obviously that is just superior in every way. Now, I think we're going to see we're seeing some military stuff going on here. They're going to want to secure their location, which makes sense. You know, you don't want to be getting walled in. They're a strong team. You can't afford to just let them bank away in a corner, so to speak. And now this is the nice thing with teams. You see, he's sitting down his bills to start farms down here, and the reason why, my assumption, is because he wants it to be secure. As he is the frontline player, it's going to be very easy for him to be harassed, especially with the fact that he has no real walls in his base, so he's not very secure. And here you see the other Ottoman landmark, the Seagate Castle, which increases traders and trade ships' movement speed by 30% and armor by 8, making them really hard to kill by simple horseman raids, which is a really common way to kill off the trade. Now, will his ally be... Yeah, his ally is going to make College of Artillery. College of Artillery is a really popular landmark for French these days since the nerf keeps that happened the past couple of years, or past, year. You get Royal Culverins, which is one of the few sieges that can... or siege pieces that can stand up to Great Bombards. And then you also have Royal Vulcans and Royal Cannons, and they're just all solid sieges. Those are the best siege for every that you just see in the game, generally speaking, besides AoE Bombards. And with your ally being the Ottomans, they're going to be able to get Great Bombards, so that whole issue is covered. This is probably one of the best siege combinations in the game, is Joan and Ottomans. Yeah, especially due to the fact that Joan can give that gold and wood discount to her siege, which means stuff like College of Artillery will be doing discount siege, which is big. If you're 25% off of this, that's like... 100 off of each one of those, 150 gold, 100 wood, 250 resources. That ain't nothing. And when you're in a dragged out fight, every penny matters. So, yeah. No combat yet. I'm a little surprised. I expected a little bit more aggression between the teams, but they're all vets. They know that as soon as they start fighting, that's it. You've started the fight. It's going to be hard to get out of it. And whoever who cannot afford to get a wonder up towards the end of the game is probably going to be the one that loses, obviously. Wonders win games. It's a proven fact. Now, this is a little bit awkward. I think there's a little bit too much fishing going on here. They need to kind of spread out the love, you know. Honestly, though, it would almost be worth it to get, just one, Hulk at this point, or, 2 arrow ships, and start nailing down this, food economy of the fishing ships and take it over for yourself. Oh, excuse me. But hey, everyone's got their own decisions to make, you know? They may decide that they don't want to fight. It's better for them to not. But honestly, these relics need to get moved back into the corner. If someone comes out and scouts you with 4 relics out in the open like that, you're going to get someone on your butt trying to kill you for it. For me, that's not even a question. That is what will happen. Now, we do see Jarin is doing something here. Now, what is he going for? He's got decent resources. He needs to start getting some military production. This, 2 relics. Very nice. He needs to get some more military production. You never know when your opponent is going to come in. Oh, is he going to build the Elsbach Palace? I believe he is. So Elsbach Palace is one of the best keeps in the game. It's a unique landmark for HRE and Udid, and Udid being Order of the Dragon. And let's take a look at that. Acts as a keep with plus 50% health. All buildings within influence take 33% less damage. And if you are or the Dragon or HRE, if you have a TC, you get an ability called Emergency Repairs, which repairs 150 health every 1 second for 20 seconds, that's a boatload of health. Let's just put it that way. I shouldn't have to explain how big that is. With that, because if you put a Wonder back here too, you get emergency. You get a TC, and a Wonder back here in the corner. That's going to be hard to kill. You're going to need a lot of trebs, lots of cannons, a lot of siege. Oh, and we do see the push is on its way. Now, this is a rough one for Ottomans, especially if you don't have great Bombard mass. Ooh, this is interesting. He's not Imperial yet. Imperial Abbasid gets Culverins. Culverins is the anti-siege siege. And 2 Culverins could remove all of this Mangonel blob, which means that this army would wreck it just by pure numbers. Plus, though, he's got his ally moving in, which does have double Great Bombard, which will also make fast work of this. If they do not get up enough military here quick enough, if this forward infrastructure kind of just dies, this may be his death real fast. Because if they don't have enough infrastructure. Oh, night. We do see the archery ranges here. That's good. He does have this, so maybe he could print out an army fast enough to replace this one if it gets deleted. But it's gonna be it's not gonna be an easy call, you know. It's not something you want to risk. Yep, you want to start getting a market up here. You want to get trade. And I think they're doing this to try to hopefully secure this corner so they can get some almost cross-map trade, which would be really good for their economy. But I think that this team is coming in. Now, let me get their team names because I am haggard as hell, and I didn't memorize it. And let's be fair. If they're going to choose team names, we should respect that. So, Team Nomad and Nani is the 100 Years War. We have Bombard Rush with Zerinium and Galactic. We have McNuggets, which is Thromac and McSkinfry. And we have the Zoo, or the Zookeepers. So, okay, we're seeing some walls coming up here. I think right now is the time to be aggressive. They could come in, knock down that keep, snipe out those siege units, and their army would 100% roll this one. There's not a question in my mind. And, yep, he's got the Seagate Castle. All right, now let's take a look over here. They're just bordering up. They're walling in. Now, this could be an army that's just there for defense. One of them goes heavy on military. The other one goes heavy on eco. And they're just kind of safe. But no, they're moving out. They want that cross-map trade. Normally, killing an opponent in a corner does not guarantee that you're going to get a market. But with the team game where you have a partner, you are guaranteed the ability to set up trade that you can use. So coming down and killing someone for their corner is a very smart choice, to say the least. Now, these mass arbaletiers, very good for killing things like the men-at-arms that were here. But they will die quickly to those great bombards. But this is interesting to me. He's pulling back. If this starts to become a push, this is not something you're going to want to deal with. But honestly, if these two teams can find peace in their time, it's going to be good for both of them. Though, obviously, you're going to want your neighbors dead more often than not. Yep, those tower elephants just killing stuff as they walk past. Don't want to be in their way. They are a Mack truck that's ready to mow you down. We got some medieval tanks right here. Now, this is the first real aggression we're seeing. He's taking out the water, which is smart to deny your opponent food source. Instead of going through and killing all of this, you kill the dock. It's just as useless in terms of the gather rate. Because if they can't drop off, they can't do anything. Now, this is rough. I don't see a lot of military here yet. They're going for it now, but this is it's too late. Now, yep, the galley's going down to the Chatted Arms. These elite gilded units are going to be tough. Now, for those who do not know, booted military counts for double, which means that's 24 gilded arms, and that's 4 horsemen. So that's a rough one. Now we see this keep coming up. That's going to be too little too late. In my opinion, like these elephants can steamroll this right now. There's not going to be much they can do. Now here, this is good. That's a lot of spearmen. And the archers aren't going to do a whole lot, but they need to get those on the elephants, not the men-at-arms. This is not the fight you want to be taking. Like those, yeah, those are tough. With the 24 attack versus this 15, like they're hitting almost double what you are at 20% attack speed. So that's literally basically double your output. And archers do very little damage. They do like 1 or 2 damage per shot. Yeah, and you see with the healing, they're not going to die very quickly, and archers are not going to be an answer, you know? It's going to be a rough one for Team McNuggets. Team McNuggets, though, this also sucks. You have the College of Artillery here in the corner. It would almost make sense to have Berkshire in front, unless you're really banking on that wonder position. But it doesn't look like it's going to come out in time. Now, this needs to be making some Revolquins. Let's take a look at McSkip Fries. Oh, he doesn't have the wood for it. If he had the wood for it, like 3 Revolquins could really mess up this army. The damage that those things have is insane. But it looks like they're going to go focus the Thromac here, which is, that's some tough cookies. That's some tough cookies. Oh, we do see a fight here in the north. The Great Bombards will be taking down the keeps. And like I said, you got to get those Royal Culverins on them, but that's not enough Royal Culverins to take that on. I wish I saw who fought first, but yep. Ah, that's the Randy down. The Randy you probably saw there for a moment was really doing some damage, but with that gone, you're going to be losing that advantage. And this is a rough one. You're going to lose your position. If they're smart, they can defend those Royal Culverins pretty efficiently. And that'll keep these Great Bombards from getting too cheeky. But if they can't control the front line, they will just get dived. And if those get dived, that's, yep, they're going to start going down very quickly. And you don't have an answer for those Great Bombards. And when they're unopposed, like that is not where you want to be. And that, man, this is rough. This is rough. Both teams are getting pushed back here from the south and the east. The north and the west really proving themselves to be proper tyrants here. We got elephants taking down keeps over here. We got the Udid army gathering up here and going to probably start working out this infrastructure and killing this light military. That is not enough to really do solid work. Meanwhile, the purple and green here, the oh, let me pull up the name. The Bombard Rush. Well, yep, Bombard Rush indeed. They're rushing through with Bombards because that is a rough one. You do not want to be in the receiving end of Great Bombards. It is, their strength has been enough that in the next patch that has been released or is going to be released here soon, they are losing 50 HP, which is not a small number. That is straight up an 1/8 of their current HP. And this is obviously with them getting plus 70 health right now, so they're going to go down to 300, which is going to make them a lot easier to kill, but I don't think fast enough. I don't think that change is coming in fast enough for Team 100-Year Wars. That's not good for them. Yep, and that Royal Culverins going down, but not before it got a Great Bombard itself, which is nice. With that though, they're yeah, they got to retreat from the Great Bombards, so their army is allowed to just kind of clear the mass here. They're going to be pushed back to their corner. They got to start Helm's Deeping. Nomad needs to be making new military schools and new infrastructure in his eastern corner where he can defend himself a lot more efficiently. But we are seeing the cheeky push from Nani here. He is a vet, or Nomad there. They are both vets at this. They know how to dive siege. They know how to thread the needle, so to speak. So if you're not right on top of your siege, they will get on it. There is not a doubt in my mind. And that might be enough to slow down this push a little bit. Like 4 or 5 Great Bombards could do a lot of work very quickly. 2 will still do a lot of work, but only half as fast. Math is math. Now in the south, we are seeing the Or the Dragon has got the Trebs, which will outrange and be killing this stuff down here. And losing a Revolquin is not good. That's a lot of resources that neither team can afford to really be losing. Or technically this team, the Team Zoo, could definitely afford to lose some, but I don't think they care to. I think that's why they went with Tread, and they're not just throwing bodies into the grinder, though I guess one could argue this is throwing bodies into the grinder. It does suck. Yep, this is why the Revolver is going to be able to solo basically what would be 6-minute arms by itself, and then take out these guys here. Meaning that this, like, you're throwing away really expensive units right here. Sadly, Berkshire will go down. And with that, I think this team is, they're at the end of their rope, so to speak. That's TC down, Landmark down. Do they have another Landmark? They have Landmark here. Do they have something else somewhere? I don't see it. There's it down already. Yep, down, down, down. Yep. That's it. I think this is the last Landmark. And with this will be the end of Team McNuggets. They tried valiantly, but this is not the fight that you want. And I don't even think that Randy will come in time. And we do see that Team Rush here is going to be taking out stuff, and losing your Imperial Armory is going to suck. That is a great Bombard you're being denied, and a constant flow of them, to be exact. And you're losing 4 relics. This is what I'm talking about. Those 4 relics were back here. They at least would still be getting those resources, and now they basically have just got those for this team. This is not where you want to be being. And yeah, we do see a team going down. So with that, in team games, if you continue your fight, you're basically sitting back and letting the other team eco. So if these guys are going to be making a deal, it's probably going to be a deal for them to call for peace and then teaming the Zoo team. Because you cannot allow that team to just get cross-map trade uncontested. So, yep, they're pulling back. They may be trying to make a decision to push elsewhere, but if this is their decision, they're going to be, you keep attacking, you're going to continue making enemies, which is, yep, see? They were pulling back, but now that they decided to continue the aggression will continue to come for them. That is not the decision I think is the one you should be making, you know? It is, you're going to be making enemies you don't need to be making during a time where you need to be preparing to take out the bigger threats. So I think at this point, I believe 2 teams will be making it into the finals, as this is just a small community tournament. So they may just decide it's time to go kill Nomad and Nani and get their place into the finals. You know, there's very little reason not to. If you end up having to 1v1 or 2v2 this team, then you 2v2 this team. They may not, if you can kill the 100 Years War in time, you may not even have to worry about it, you know. Now, the Great Migration of Vale's coming out here. Now, this, if you lost all this, that's your base dead in the water. Nomad is desperately looking for a place to relocate. That you really can't, though. All your landmarks are right here. You got 1, 2, and 3, and and 4. Those go down. That's it. That's the end. Yep. As soon as those great Bombards start heading towards the east corner, I believe that's going to be the end of it. I don't think they're going to have a real answer for that. Now, if I am team Zookeepers here, I'm just going to be banking. There's very little need for them to continue aggression, while they won very handedly. Like, their bank is good. Look at that. They got a total of about 30,000 resources, which is almost what you need for a wonder. You triple this right here, they're going to be able to wonder and wonder safely. Same thing with him. Only one of them needs those resources. So right now, they just need to get out here on the stone, which if they can get out there on the stone, that'll be it. Now, I wonder if this is going to be them making peace or not. This is interesting to me, to say the least. Obviously, I do not have the chat here, so I cannot see what is being said. I will check though with Throwmac and Mexican Fry and see if either of them can be in my in-game correspondent and give me a information on what's going on here. Let's see. Now, with that message sent, let's see. We do see military is heading down this way. Oh, great! So this is interesting. Maybe they made a deal with the 100 Years War to team them and try and take out this team, which honestly I wouldn't take if I were them. Like, you want this team off your back, but they need to be pushing the team with cross-map trade. Because let's see. Yep, we see a dock. It's not going to be long before they start getting the trade on that, if they got any sense to them. Let's see that. Yep, 165 trade. This is dirty. This is dirty. You cannot allow a team to be getting resources on this level without just guaranteeing you're going to be in the losing position. So I think they're going to continue putting pressure on Team 100 Years Wars, so that way they can try to take them out. You really need to take out this stuff here. You can't let them get this infrastructure set up. You need to take out these landmarks. Do not let them get the free great bombards. If they get 5 of those just passively over time, like, it'll be a while to get that much, but you do not want them on that, you know. Now this is interesting. They are sitting in the trebs up here. They got military, but that may be defensive, you know. Well, nope. It looks like they are going for the elimination. This is a bit haggard to me. I think you wait at least for the other team to have finished attacking here, finish off their neighbor, then you go for them. They will have been weakened from their continuous grind, and you do not have to worry about that last team. Though it is almost worth it, I would say, to just take all your military and bum rush this base. Just try to finish them off, make sure you get to the finals, and just let that be it. Because right now, all they're guaranteeing is they have to fight, which is just going to be screwing over this team in particular and allowing this team to rebank. This is an interesting choice, though. They may be thinking that they can steamroll the whole lobby, which, if that's their goal, they can do it. They do have the strength that they may get away with that without issue. Now, these Janissaries, they're guaranteed 28 damage with plus 20 to Cav. Is insane. Like, you will mow down armies very quickly. Yep, and we're seeing the split push coming here. Yep, this will guarantee that this team will be allowed to just sit back and recover. I think this is a mistake, but once again, everyone can make their own decisions and play the way they want to play. I feel like if you are Team Zookeeper, it is in your best interest to kind of sit back and let the other team spin off. Get the bonuses where you can get them and not stress this other team, because as soon as, if they're fighting, they're wasting resources, which is a bonus for you. And now you're going to have to deal with great bombards in your base, which is, once again, not something you want. I would really like to see what the chat is about this. Oh, that was Giga size map. That also makes sense. Yep, they have made the enemies, so now they're going to start getting dented in hard. Sorry about that, guys. I went to see if there was a response from my people yet. From my peeps, my good buddies. Now this continues to be a rough one to deal with. You are, you gotta hope that your ally here can just kind of dint off forever. I do not think this is a good bet from Team Zookeeper. They're throwing away really expensive armies here. Cannoneers, elephants. Like, this is stuff you want to be saving, not losing. And that's rough. Now let's check the eco of this player here. Oh, he only has 78. He needs to get traders and farms and the like up and running. He does not have the eco to be grinding out. And this may actually force his hand. This may be the Rohan riding, you know? Now, if they push back here, pull back here, and just start banking, I don't see a reason why they would need to start pushing Galactic and Zerinium here. The Bombard Rush was going for your opponents, which is where you want them to be. Like, these two teams are nearly broke. So if you just laid off and let them kill each other, you're going to have so much bank that it's not going to be a proper fight. But you don't know until you know. Let me get this here. Oh, I'm not live streaming yet. Alright. Hopefully that'll be set up there. Now I can get back to this. Now we got mass elephants setting up. We were seeing this team push into their opponents, which honestly, why not? You know, if you can push into your opponent and deal with them, then if you can get the kill, then that's just more benefit to you. I feel like this is definitely teaming against no longer the. This team may have been the strongest team before the trade got set up by Jarin and Allied. They are not that any longer. That position is long since gone. And honestly, like, you gotta. This is rough. Like, it's hard to pick a way to respond to this. Yeah, you gotta help your ally, because if they just keep getting dented in by knights and herbalisteers, that's not where you want to be. And I wonder if there has been a peace treaty yet. I would like to see if there's been any chat about this, because if you are Team Great Bombard Rush, this is literally the worst position you could be in. Game 2v1 by the strongest team in the game, and the person you were trying to kill earlier is almost a recipe for them coming for blood forever. Like, you're not gonna be able to escape this aggression. Yeah, they're putting cannon towers on the trade. They're not going to allow this to go through. Like, this is what I'm talking about. You need to be teaming up against the tyrants and not the players that are, you know, being peaceful. You're going to be losing trade here to this. And that's rough. You really can't afford to be wasting resources like this when you're Team 100 Years War, as you are just kind of poor to begin with. Like, it is not a good place to be. And they're going to put cannon towers on all the trade, deny the resources. This is where you need to be teaming against them. Like, or you just say screw it, let this team win. Try to guarantee yourself a place in the finals and just go kill your neighbor. Because if they can be left alone long enough from this the team in the West here, then they don't have to care, you know? It does not matter to them. These guys are fighting, you know? These teams fighting here in the East and the North means the West team is unopposed, no problems, having a great time. And yep, and they're putting towers on all the trade posts. They're not going to let anyone get it. Now, why would you? If you can deny everyone trade, put yourself in the winning position, like, it's good sense. Now, this is where you have to make a decision. Do you push into your opponents, or do you sit back and bank and prepare for the wonder? I personally think that it's a rough one. I would say you probably actually just come down here and hopefully you can kill Nani and Nomad and get yourself into the finals. If you do that, you're going to be in a decent position. And honestly, with their trade being killed off, this is not something that you want to... Like, you don't have the ability to gain a lot of resources if they start pushing over here. You know, they cut off this trade. Suddenly, you're going to be a very poor player. Now, let's see what we got in the inbox. It says, do not see anything here. Oh, messages. Alright. So, from our in-game correspondent, it looks like we are seeing Nani is calling on Allied and Jarin for help. Xur and Galactic claim that Nani and Nomad have 100 trade and need to be stopped. There's a lot of salt, and Nani saying they're nearly dead, and then Jarin and Allied went quiet. So from the sounds of it, the team in the east called for help. The team in the west answered the call. The team in the north is counter-politicking, saying they got trade. They discovered the trade, put cannon towers on it, denying said trade. And so now the team in the east needs to deal with the team in the west to get back good resource gather rate. So this is their situation. And honestly, it's not a bad place to be. Like if these guys, they got trade in their base, that's decent. I would like to see the trade come up to like right here to back here. That would be pretty efficient. That way they're not worried about stuff. But I think they've decided to team up against the tyrants here. And honestly, not a terrible decision. Like, if you're a team Bombard Rush, you're going to be getting cross-map trade. You can trade from like right here to right here. And you could get to that. And yep, they're preparing the wonder. The TC, the reason I said, like I said before, you put in the TC is for the emergency repairs. They put a relic inside the Elves back, which is going to boost its range damage and armor and HP, I believe. Or some combination of that. I believe the range at the bare minimum. And they've made themselves into a target. Though, with their kill, it doesn't matter if they die, I believe. If they lose, they still make it into the finals. Now, this is interesting. Will the great legions of elephants stand up to the Janissaries? And I don't think they do. Like, this is a rough one if I've ever seen it. Now, you get those Bombards on those, on their hand cannoneers and scholars there. That's where you want to be. Now, you're going to be, yep, walling up, yep, getting the wonder in place. That's it. The Great House of Lindbergh, people. Everyone realized they were the tyrants, and they're here to stop it. Which, you know what? Good. They needed to do this sooner. The fact that they teamed up against Galactic and Xuranium meant that this team was banking decent resources. They probably gained more than what they lost during all that fighting. And they, oh yeah, those horsemen, those CPE will die very quickly. There's emplacements here, and yeah, barely going to get any attacks on. They are going to be covered the entire way around, so it's not like if these were like actual men-at-arms, this would be funny because you could build some siege back here. But yeah, they're going to get the keep on there. They're getting more relics. This might be the end here. Now this sucks. This sucks. You are in a position where you're not where you want to be, say the least. Now I believe if there is 3 teams left alive, and one of the team who won was the one who got the kill, it'll be based on unit kills instead. So I think that's going to go the way of Galactic and Xuranium, but I could be wrong. I do not have a tracker on that. I cannot see it for sure. Now let's look at the Wandering Team's resources, because Nani is starting to get up there. Nomad is starting to recover. His gold is a little bit weak, but after a couple minutes, it'll be back to decent. Jarin, now Jarin is poor. He is food poor as it gets. He needs to keep his farms online. He really can't though. He needs to, yeah, they need to change their trade routes. He's got a lot of food, but he doesn't have a lot of food. He's got decent golden wood, but that's not going to be enough. Now you're seeing counter sacreds go down. Now this is interesting. This is a lot of jank. You as Team Zerinium cannot allow that due to the fact that if this team wins on sacreds, then you're screwed. And honestly, there's not enough resources, I think, in this team to hold this wonder if they all push together. So I think this is too greedy of a play to allow to happen. I think you need to deny this before they actually get these fully walled off and defended. And yeah, and you see now they're attacking. They're a little bit here and there. Slow down your opponent. Oh, I'm sorry, you know. I wouldn't trust this for a minute. I would not trust that for a hot minute. Now the sacreds, because of the sacred timer, the wonder timer, let's check that out. It's at 12 minutes. They need to deny. So I think what you do is you send the elephants forward to go decap that, because they're going to be very hard to push off and kill fast enough. And then you pull everything else back to help defend. Because right now, these great bombards are going to be doing too much work in your base, and you cannot let that happen, you know. Jarin doesn't have the resource bank to really hold this either, which is looking bad for him. His allies should send him a couple thousand food just to keep Jarin in the fight, because this is not where they need to be. Yep, and now there seems to be a lot of argument about the sacred timer, and it's causing a lot of confusion between the groups, which is not good. They're like, right now, this is, you don't have a lot of time to be doing this, and obviously, like, this army needs to come up here and deal with this. And I think if this wonder goes down, or they delete it, they're going to be forced to delete those sacreds, or to delete the wonder and stop the counter sacred, because the counter sacred probably has about 9 or 8 minutes left on it versus the wonder like 11. Yep. So this is rough. This is rough. And your army has been cut off. You will cut off reinforcements if you can get right here, but then you still got the army in your base, and Allied is the only one with a true military. What Jarin needs to be doing is getting gilded knights and getting them up on these sacreds, because right now this is a losing position for this team right now. And for this team. Both these teams. Both of these teams are not going to do well with those sacreds on the board. Like, if you're Galactic, you're like, F you, man. Can't be putting sacreds down when we're able to push this wonder. There's not a lot of distance. If they just literally get, like, right here, treb those two down, or those three, come over here, treb that, and get on that. Like, it's not a lot of ground they have to get through. There's not layers of defenses. Half the infrastructure is already destroyed. The elephants are dead, and they're securing these sacred sites. This is bad faith stuff, and honestly, you need to just delete the wonder at this point. You're not going to be able to deny that, and if the other team then goes for it, then they're screwed, you know? No one wins this. No one is the winner here. Well, no one but this team. The counter sacreds will definitely hold if they don't get on it quick enough. Nani and Nomad have been rebanking. They're building infrastructure. They've said, screw it, we're going to win this. Like, if you're Team Galactic Zerinium, you actually need that sacred to go down so you don't lose your place in the finals. So at this point, I pull off. Let the wonder win, counter the sacred, and try to get yourself into a winning position. Yeah, you see the knights are here. They're going to attack you. At this point, with the timer on the sacred site, it's probably like 5 minutes. This is not good. Yep, and yet we're seeing them go for the sacred site instead. This is over. They're not going to lose to the sacred site, or they don't want to. Yep, they need to go for the decap. They need to. This is the thing, going for a sacred and defending it like this is really bad faith to the other team, because they're like, hey, you're not actually going to let me decap it. Yep. So apparently the Ottoman or the Delhi Udid team told them that they are enforcing this this position, and they're not going to stop the decap or let them stop the decap. So their hand is forced now. This is the issue. You cannot let people get on sacred sites like this. They could have easily pushed this wonder if all teams pushed together. Oh, yep, and they deleted. Yep, they got to go for it now. So everyone is in on this push now. This is a little bit too little too late. They already have the walls up. They have the defense up. They only got to hold for like 5 minutes, and that's not long. They didn't invest a lot of resources to getting this going, and they do not have siege to bust this down. Like the Great Bombard will get there eventually, and so will those culverins, but that might not be there fast enough. You need to gotta be on this. This was too little too late from the allied team. Team Zookeepers made a mistake here. Yep. This is why, no, I do not say this as an insult. It's good strategy. I do not trust Nomad when he makes deals, as he is known for doing stuff like this. Oh, I'll let you decap, and then he puts 4, 6, 8 like keeps on it. No, this was a bad faith deal from the beginning. You should not have allowed this to happen. This should never been allowed. Them putting this out here is going to screw them so hard. It's not even funny. They're not going to have siege here in time to deal with this. Like, oh, and they're getting the cross-map trade over here. Yeah. This is now the dominating team. Now they have great bombards. You only have one. You don't have enough to push into this. Like, this is not where you want to be. Not the situation you want to be in. Like, this is rough. And if your great bombard dies here, you probably don't have enough time to actually, like, siege the walls. Like, yep, that's bad. People are learning, are going to be remembering why you don't let people use counter sacred, because they will keep on it. No one will then lose. When there's 3 minutes left on it, they're going to go for it. It's a common misplay that happens when people let people get sacred sites. You usually keep a couple scouts on the sacred site, make sure they don't enforce it, and as long as they don't enforce it, you let it to stay up. But as soon as you see them forcing it, like, it's over. Like, you cannot let that happen. This is probably GG. Like, if they can get this wall down, that'll be one thing. But then they still gotta delete the army, you know. This is not the situation you want to be in. People are not good faith actors in Team FFAs, in my experience. It almost would have been better for them to go straight for the base. Force the army to be somewhere else. But they don't have a way to get into this, like, at all. So, yep, this is probably GG, fellas. I don't know what the timer is right now. You cannot see timers for sacred sites. You can just see that they have them. This right here is probably the easiest sacred to take, or this one. But, like, the armies are still there, you know? Like, you got layers of mangonels and army. Like, you're not going to actually get in there, which is an issue, you know? And they need these. They need 2 armies pushing each location. Yep, and Jones in here. They need to take down more of these walls. That's it. Yep, that'll guarantee Galactic and Zerinium do not make it into finals. All right, guys, thank you for joining me in the preliminary round. I hope that was entertaining for you all. Let me get this going for the next one here in just a minute.